Hi, welcome back to the Jackie and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glen.
He is. That's who he is.
That's who I am today. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Today we're reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode, I think 5 or something like that. I can't remember, we lost track. But Married at First Sight today. Man, excited about this episode. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. All the couples are married now. Everybody's on the honeymoon together, and we're starting to see the personalities of the couples and how they interact and how they mingle with each other. And some couples are having some issues, and some couples are going okay. But I think it's going to be a good review. All right, where you want to get started at?
To me, let's start with Alexis and Justin.
All right.
Just a little bit less of them.
But it's big though. It's less of them. But we might be on this for a minute. But go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna take that much time with it. But we see them, like I said, they're on a honeymoon, and each of the couples, you know how they do on a honeymoon, they have a little excursion thing that they do. So for them, it was horseback riding. So we see them open, they're walking on the beach, and they go horseback riding, and he tells her no slapping the horse's butt.
Yeah.
No, she tells him, because apparently he's into butt slapping.
He likes slapping butts.
He likes
and she's a thick, full-figured woman, so you know
she ain't full-figured.
She's thick.
She would be slim thick. She's not full-figured at all.
Okay, she's slim thick, and so he wanted to put his hands on her.
He always be slapping her booty.
He always slapping her booty. All
the time. Yeah. So don't be slapping the horse's booty before they take off down this beach. But he shares during this that, it's still surreal for him getting used to the fact that he's married. And he actually said, if I would have dreamed of a wife, she's what I would have dreamed of. He's saying that now.
He's saying that now.
But he never thought it would happen for him, I guess, with his failed engagement before. And so he's happy to be in a place where he is. And the one thing she said is, as her sister said, we're not like emotional, we're kind of hard women. So she said, I'm usually cool, calm, collective. I don't let my emotions show whatever. She was like, but I feel like I'm losing control. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I like him. I shouldn't be liking him this much. I want to tell him I like him almost too, but...
But, when I saw this, it made me just think about the previous episodes and what she said on After Party last time she was on there. What made her swipe left then? It had to be something to make her swipe left, and now because you're getting to know him, kind of, you starting to like him. Or because you given the process. But I mean, wouldn't you like him off of his bio? I never been on Hinge.
No.
So the bio, the picture, all this.
She said that. And even when she came to the altar, afterwards, she was like, he's not my physical type. So she swiped left because she looked at him and was like, no, he's not my type. And she said they had a chance to have more conversation, and she started liking more, getting more of his personality and talking.
But he was in her DM, so they had some type of conversation before this that made her still want to swipe to the left.
Right, because she was still stuck on come on, we all know. It's one thing when you talk to somebody as opposed to when you talk to somebody.
Yeah, I mean...
and if she was like not attracted anyway, I don't think nothing he could have said, typed in written words would have helped.
Okay.
But anyway,
he's giving a lot of affection.
Yeah, she was like, I could tell by the look he gives me that he loves me, he likes me, and they're sitting there talking and stuff, and
her boobs are showing because that dress, every time the wind blow, you just saw boobs. Boobs just popped out.
He just gets real sappy with her, and she was like, oh my gosh, being funny, trying to be sarcastic. Ew, emotions. Why are we showing emotions? And
I think she wouldn't be funny. I think that's seriously her though. I'm
talking about the way she said it.
Oh yeah.
Like, ew, emotions.
She doesn't seem like the emotional type that she is. She's like you said, they're hard. She's rigid. She's that. I think somebody said it. I don't know, something I was watching. She's that jelly bean, hard on the outside but soft on the inside, and that's where she's at. And she's never really been loved or showed that by the guys that she messed with. Even the 3 guys that asked her to marry her, I don't think she ever got that from them. I don't think she ever got that type of what Justin's giving her. I mean, almost to the point where he's clingy. I don't want to call him clingy, but he's all over. It's clinginess, and he's all over her, right? And so my thing with him is, when do you get past the touchy-feely thing? I know he's celibate. I didn't say celibate like she be saying it. It's celibate, right? So he's celibate, but he's still to me, he seemed like he's working towards something. Like he's putting all this work in to get what he wants to get.
Well, I mean, he is of the mindset, and they basically, you know, when they had their conversation, he's of the mindset, we're married. Like, he is all in on this married. So, I'm going to do like married people do. I'm going to act like married people act. I'm going to feel like married people feel. So, he's diving all the way in. She jokingly was like, oh, I think you're trying to turn me soft. Trying to make me soft. I got these emotions coming out. And I don't usually talk about this. But as we go on after the horseback riding, we see them, they have their dinner. All the couples had a dinner too. And I noticed that they were matching clothes. She had on her red, that's the dress you're talking about, she had on her Cleveland out.
No, this was not Cleveland out, but when she had that little outfit where it was all the side that was coming out on the other one. This one was all the top coming out.
Right. She had all her Cleveland out. But they had matching outfits on. Like, she had solid red and he had on red with some black. And that's when she said too, it's hard for me to express my emotions and be vulnerable. And, you know, it's like, I don't do that, because when you do, and a lot of people feel this way, is when you're vulnerable and show your emotions, is you open yourself up to the possibility of being hurt. It's like you're losing control. You're giving somebody else the control. And she's like, you know, I want to stay in control. And I don't want to be open and be hurt. But also you're open when you share your emotions and when you're vulnerable. More than anything, you open yourself up to be loved. Mm-hmm. And there is a possibility of being hurt. But first and foremost, you're opening yourself up to be loved. So when you keep yourself closed, you can't get hurt, but you also can't get love.
Can't get love.
It's, you know, we've heard this before too. You know, if you got a closed fist, you can't get nothing in a closed fist, and I can't get nothing out of it. And so you gotta be open. And so she talks about that. And
closed mouths don't get fed. So I mean,
she's like, you know, I feel like you're meant for me. Oh my gosh, it hurt me to say that. She, you know, so she sarcastically talks about it.
What hurt her was like, I need you. That's when she said, I need you, or I need someone. It was the need part that she was like, ooh, I won't say that for like another year. Because she didn't feel like she needed anybody. She felt like, hey, I had everything I needed. And so when she said need, ooh, I can't believe I said that.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Justin kind of jumps off the deep end. He was like, I mean, I want kids by you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And, you know, he's like, I love you. I'm in love with you. And she's like, she busts out laughing. Now, in the preview, it made it look real rude the way she did it. But the laugh was more like an uncomfortable laugh. Like, not like you big dummy laugh, but like, oh my gosh, like, this is too much. I don't do all this.
But it is too much. It's 3 days.
But I mean, look, it's really too much.
It's 3 days and he ain't get the cookie yet. 3 days and he ain't getting no loving, and he's that much in love. And
he didn't say that. What did he say? He said he felt like it was love. He said it was love at first sight. When I was at the altar and you were coming down, he was like, I knew at the altar, I'm gonna love this woman.
I don't care who. Just me. I don't care who came down the aisle. Bro was gonna fall in love with whoever came down the aisle, because the last one didn't work. And he was going to be head first and dive into whoever came down the aisle. It could not even been his type. He's going to put his best foot forward, effort, that he wants to be married that bad. So if it was her, if it was somebody else, he was going to be all in. And I think that's what he's doing now. He's lusting all in based off what he did not get the last time he came down. The last time he was close to coming down the aisle. And so now he's going all in into this and doing all the extra and all the different things. I'm not wrong with the extra. But at the same time, let's put it in perspective. It's 3 days and you telling this young lady you love her.
Yeah. It was a lot.
That's lust. That's not love yet. That's lust.
And I'm going to say it's puppy love. It's infatuation.
Yeah.
But he was like, does that scare you that I would say that? She was like, it scares me because it's unusual, you know. And why you saying, like, I feel like I want to walk away. I want to walk away, like, cause, you know, this is a lot. This is a lot, you know. And she said, honestly, it's too early for me to say it. I hope you don't expect me to say it. He was like, no, it's fine. I don't expect you to.
Lying. He lying. That's why he started crying. Heart was broken. He reverted back to the girl leaving him. In my mind, I just think she said, she didn't say it back. He was like, oh, dang. He felt some type of way. I mean, not in a mad, I'm a leaver type of way, but he felt some type of way from a man perspective. Nobody want to hear say, oh, I love you, and you get crickets.
Yeah.
Oh, matter of fact, you get laugh in a crickets. You know, he thought she was gonna say it back, but she explained herself properly. You know, and then she did. She felt like running. She wanted to cope. Yeah. That's her coping mechanism. She always run.
But he says over time,
she a track star.
Over time, he's hopeful that he'll be able to win her heart, and when she's ready to say I love you and to feel those feelings, then he was like, I'll be here. So take your time. And so I appreciate that. I think he is jumping the gun when it comes to I love you, but I appreciate that he's not pressed for her to say it. He know, and I think that was his brother's concern too, because he knows you are all in type of person. When you go in, you go in. Yeah. I believe this is not abnormal for him.
It's not abnormal for him. He went all in. He's jumped in, and he's 6'7". He done jumped in some 12 feet water. I had to say something to cover his head, right? He jumped in some real deep waters here, and he has to and hope he stand by what he says. Hopefully he waits for her. What if it takes the 8 weeks and she don't never say it? What if it takes, you know what I'm saying? What if she doesn't say it while we see it on TV in this process? Is he okay with that? Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to know. He never got into it, but does his word, what he says, does it really match up to how he really feel?
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I want to say with them is he gonna have to find another position, posture when it comes to kissing her, because I am getting tired of her craning her neck back.
He need to stoop down, dog.
Bend them arthritic knees.
or learn how to pick her up to him.
That
you know,
too.
Like a little baby underneath her arms. something.
Or
something.
They talked about that when they was on the beach with the horses. He was like, I'm sorry. She was like, you don't hurt my neck.
You don't hurt my neck. But he always, man, he's touchy-feely. I want to hug. I want to kiss. But you know what? One thing I like about it, she obliges.
She does.
She does oblige.
But she don't seem like the type that's not touchy-feely. Except for the high five, because that was corny. Remember?
Yeah, high five corny.
Don't high five.
We all know what his love language is, huh? He like physical touch, because he's touchy-feely.
Mm-hmm. He act like a breastfed baby.
He does. He is latched on, dog. He is latched on. He like pit bull.
All right, next we got Stacia and Nate.
Save them, please, just a little bit, if you don't mind.
Okay. So
Lindy and Miguel.
Sure. If that's what you say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get to because we're gonna talk about Hollywood later.
So with Lindy and Miguel, it's obvious. They talk about the sexual tension between them, and that daggone Miguel, like he really wants the draws.
Miguel he is hot to try.
He wants the draws, but 2 conversations they had, it's like, no, I'm not there yet. And as much as Lindy, says, when you grow up in a particular religion, especially with strict rules or whatever, even though you get grown and you kind of turn away from some things are hard to get away from.
Yes.
And even though she's had a one night stand, and she talked about that, she said she grew up Seventh-day Adventist. She went to Christian schools. Mm-hmm. She got engaged at an early age. This is something my daughter talked about, because it was a particular school around here. There's like, that's what you go to school, when you go a lot of these Christian schools, you go to school, and freshman year, sophomore year, you engaged, you ready to get married. And that's what Lindy said. She was like, I got engaged at an early age. They call it, in college, it's a get a ring before spring.
Mm-hmm.
Get a ring before spring. So it's like, let me hurry up and hook up with somebody. And that's what happened to her. She said the first person she ever had sex with was the guy that she was engaged to.
Yep. He wanted to move back to Indiana and start their lives there after she graduated. She wanted to stay in school. And so it just became a controlling factor. And she wasn't ready to be controlled in that situation.
Yeah, they had those conversations very quickly. And she said, I was the first person. She said, I love you too. And so they had the conversation that, you know, for him, he said in 2 to 3 months, like, I could tell if something's missing or not. And if I want to be there. And that's when I'd be like, you know what, never mind. He said, I end it. He said, I end it. And she was like, that's scary to me because
Miguel was like, deuces.
We in this 8-week process. And what if during this 8-week process, like you kind of start not feeling me and I'm in this by myself and you be like,
start feeling my quirks and my things that I do and me looking for stuff for 35 minutes and just who I am. What if you don't like me?
And she said, you know, I'm hopeful that if you feel that way, we can talk about it and talk through it. And, you know, it's something that we can change and, you know, get straight so I'm not stuck in there. And they talked about the fact that she feels like love is a choice. To him, love is a feeling. Which, again, that's what makes it easy for him to walk away. Because I don't feel like I love you, so I'm going to leave. Whereas I'm on the side with Lindsay. Love is a choice. I'm choosing to love you in spite of. And I think it's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
I feel like some of that comes from her religious background too, because we know that God loved us
right
before we loved him. If we didn't do anything for it, so it's like, you know, it's a choice. And so that's why you stick into it more. You know, when you're in a marriage, it's a choice. I choose to love you and put up with your quirks and put up with, you know, not no abuse and stuff like that. Not necessarily, you know, crazy cheating. But I make a choice to look past the fact that you won't put the toilet seat down. You know, I don't stop loving you because of that.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit both. I think love is a choice and love is a feeling. Right?
I mean, it's obviously,
it's both, right? I have to choose to love you, and when I'm choosing to love you, I'm choosing to have the feelings for you for love. It's something like Pastor Kelsey, you have to grow into love, right?
Right.
You grow into love. I think it's both. It can't be. It's not either or. It's both of these together. And what he's looking at it as this is how I am, and it's going to be this the way I have to feel it. You know what I'm saying? If I don't feel it, whatever, or if I don't choose it. And I think this is where he has to connect with her and realize and understand her upbringing, understand her past, understand what she's been rooted and grounded in, and what her foundation is. You know, even when he was in the pool, he talked about consummating the marriage, or it being, he said consecrated. He said consecrated. He said consecrated.
What are we in church?
What are we in church? Consecrated the marriage. No, it's not consecrating the marriage. You consummate the marriage. And he was trying to me, I think he was trying to manipulate her, saying, look, it's not official until we consummate this thing, so we're going to do this. Well, I mean, to me, it seemed like he was manipulating the situation, trying to get her to sleep with him. But even, because he said, well, you know, we got to be doing, we're not having sex, but we're doing other things.
Yeah, he said, my needs are being met.
My needs are being met. So what, to me, is one of two things. He didn't go into detail. Either he meeting his own needs, or she meeting his needs, and he just ain't poking. So, y'all reading between the lines, whichever way you think.
Yeah. But you said something. When they had that conversation about consummating, I said, again, so you know certain foundational principles come out. Because when they talked about that, she still said the same thing, even though I don't participate in being a 7-day Adventist no more. I don't call myself religious anymore. She said the same thing that her brother said. She was like, to me, it's like, you know, when you consummate the marriage, when you have sex, it's like the two are becoming one. We're becoming one flesh. And so that's a big thing to me, you know. And he even, I don't know if he's kind of playing on what she's saying. I don't know if he really believes it, but you know, he was like, yeah, it's like that's the seal on it. That's the stamp of approval. But she was like, she made a comment, you know, it's us coming united before God. And he was like, oh, if we're doing it before God, like, is he watching us while we consummating? Is he rating us?
and she was like sacrilegious. God don't care what kind of sex you do. He don't care if you... Well, anyway, I don't want to get deep about that.
He sees everything.
He sees everything. He don't care. Long you do it under the confines of marriage is all he cares about. If you really get deep. I ain't trying to get that deep, sorry. I don't want to get that deep, sorry. That's still too deep, but some of our membership stuff, we might do that.
Yeah, but when they went to... So, I'm going to go back a little bit before they get to the pool thing, but... They went to dinner, and it was like, just talking, let me get to know you some more, and... He talked about how he graduated from high school in 2003, which even with that, I was like, this is so cringy. I was like, he graduated in 2003, like, I was having kids in 2003.
I was married in 2000. Having kids.
I was like, yeah, graduated high school, so, because Miguel is older, but I was like, he still ain't old as me, and I'm not that old, I'm just saying.
I know, but
Just saying. But she graduated in 2011, and he was like, okay, it's like a big difference in the age.
Yeah.
And he jokingly is like, oh, why are you so young? And she says, why are you so old? And he looked like, you weren't supposed to say nothing back.
Right, you ain't supposed to come with a comeback. But she quit with it. I like Lindy.
But in that, so, they're just sharing stuff. And so she asked, tell me about your upbringing. Yeah. And he talked about the fact that he grew up in Queens and, his parents got divorced when he was 10. And his dad moved him back to Puerto Rico. And so when he got to Puerto Rico, it was like, okay, I fit in because I looked like them, but I couldn't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And so I felt isolated. And, I had this identity crisis. Like I didn't really fit into society. And so that's when he retreated to the video games and then playing Dungeons and Dragons and comic books, what he still does now. But he also shared that part of the reason why he went with his dad and went back to Puerto Rico is because his mother is schizophrenic.
Yeah, mental health issue.
And he was grown before he realized. He always felt like, well, my mom abandoned us. And he said it wasn't until he went into neuroscience that he realized she did abandon us, but she couldn't help it.
She couldn't help it.
She couldn't help it. And she was doing the best that she could with the tools that she had and with the mental capacity that she had dealing with the schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And, he came to the realization that probably, a lot of the animosity he had with his mom, it went away when he realized that was out of her control. That was out of her control. And he said, it broke my heart because I treated her so coldly when I was in my teens and my 20s. And, he just really was apologetic about that now that he's come to understand mental illness. And that just really gave Lindy opportunity to see, okay, so, because we know when you get married, you're bringing two family histories together, two family backgrounds together. And so you have to understand where your other spouse has come from, what is underneath. What is coming to the table when you all come together?
Yeah, and I mean that's deep too because you got to understand the medical history because now she can be careful if and when they stay married to have kids, things to look out for. That if his mother was schizophrenic and had these mental issues, could it travel? Could it come down the line? Could it be? You know what I'm saying? So some things to watch. You should marry people and know their medical background, their family medical background.
I can tell you history. A story about that.
Yeah, you should know people's medical background and history. So you should. Yeah, I got a story too. So was your story the same thing? My story?
I'm sure it is the same story.
It's the same story. Oh,
okay. For her, she talked about how her parents got divorced and her dad served her mom with the papers, and she was in the 8th grade and how it was such a messy situation, and how at some point she stayed with her parents, her high school boyfriend's parents when she was in high school. And she said at that time she kind of needed that stability because her parents were going through with the divorce, but her boyfriend's parents were together, and she got to see a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship. And even though in marriage and in relationships you have disagreements and you'll argue, she got to see them argue in a healthy manner as opposed to what she has seen in her own household. Yeah. And it gave her something to strive for. So she said, I have hope that I can break the cycle that I saw in my family when it comes to divorce and the marriages. And
you listen to what she's talking about. I mean, everything she talks and how she talks is still spiritually based. Mm-hmm. What I want to break generational curses in what she's saying. Mm-hmm. And so she still has that spiritual foundation that's been there and that's in there, and it's going to continue to be there. So, and Miguel's going to have to be ready for it.
Mm-hmm. And she's funny. She said, I still got my walls up but they're a little bit lower. It's a hedge. You might could jump over it, you know. But so yeah, then they had that conversation about consummating the marriage, and
the enemy was at work.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, your sacrilegious jokes talking about is God watching us and rating us when we having sex and stuff."
The enemy really got deep because he said, "Can I give you a massage? You seem like you're stressed."
And he straddled her back and everything.
Straddled her back, talked about
getting himself all excited.
Getting himself excited, thinking that was going to get her into the mood for them to have sex. You got to understand the tricks. He got to understand the tricks.
And he said later when, he met with the, all the couples got together or whatever.
Got to understand.
He said, I know there's an emotion. And he said it with her too, to me, sex is an expression of the affection that you have with your spouse. And so I like to express my feelings for you in that way. And he said later, with the guys, I know it's good when you really are connected with somebody that you have sex. He said, but I don't have no problem with having mediocre sex till we get to the point where we can have the good sex when we're really connected.
He just wants sex. He's not connected to her yet. He just wants to get his rocks off, and that's the problem. That's the problem. He just wants to get his rocks off with his wife. And he's not connected yet. I always think about what was that Friday After Next, one of those where with Damon, he said, "Man, I don't like my fish squirming. I don't like my fish dead. I want to be squirming fish." He don't care. If she could just he can lay on top of me and do his business, some Color Purple type stuff.
Man,
that's what he wants, man. He wants some Color Purple type stuff. He doesn't care if she's involved or she's emotionally attached to it or not. He just wants sex, and he's been playing that game and trying to manipulate her to get sex since day one. For the massaging on the back of the neck, kissing, even the comments he makes around the other couples, trying to get her to weaken herself. She kept, like what he said last time. Oh, she always turned me down. I've been trying, but she keep turning me down.
Rejecting me.
Keep rejecting me.
Rejecting me.
Yeah. She's gonna keep rejecting you too because you ain't doing it right. You ain't trying right. Let it go. Let that young lady
be patient.
Be patient. Be patient with her.
All right. So we still waiting, huh? Let's go to Morgan and Ben.
Yeah, Morgan and Ben. We can go to them.
Okay. Because we're gonna need a hot mess for later.
Yeah, hot mess last. Yeah.
For last. So Morgan and Ben they've gotten married. They get to have their little pictures. Family pictures in their reception. Morgan says she likes the witty banter that they have. They're getting to know each other. Yep. They're starting to connect. And she was like, I feel something stirring in the pot. Kind of like the pre-show where some of the ladies that Kevin Frazier was talking to called Ben a snack. She obviously think Ben is a whole snack.
A whole snack.
She's feeling it. He's a little bit scared of her when he hears about the Muay Thai and at the reception.
Knocking her roommate's tooth out.
No, she chipped it.
Chipped it too, yeah.
She chipped it, yeah. He's like, I don't know. I ain't gonna play with you. Don't want you knocking my tooth out. And she even saw, like I see her, she showed a lot of her rough edges, like, they got champagne at the table. She was like, I'm usually a beer person, but I'll sip on this champagne. I guess Ben was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, she rough.
Okay.
But she also showed some feminine side as well.
She did.
She showed some feminine.
She did.
When she was talking about getting ready, taking her makeup off, I don't know if he's going to see these imperfections on my face. I don't know if he's ready for this. So she has a mixture of both. I like to see more feminine than some more masculine, but hey, I'm not married to her.
At the reception, she sits down and talks to his mom, Nancy, his dad, David, and his sister, Ann. And his mom was like, oh, he's mom's son. He's mom's son. He's been with me a long time. And so, she's excited and nervous. She's excited and nervous for what will happen between the two of them. But, glad because she looking for some grandkids.
She brought up the baby thing again, like what
because she was like oldest son, basically, it'd be some carry on the family name. You got to bring some.
Yeah, bring some boys in here.
Bring some kids in here.
Bring some men. No kids. If you carry the last name, carry on the family's last name, you got to bring in some kids.
Right, but still, but she want grandkids.
Menful.
But yeah. And he talks to her brother Michael and his mom Joan, and she jokingly asked Ben, Morgan's mom, like, okay, how many kids do you want? And he was like, okay, well, that's a lot. Yeah, kids. I love kids. You know, I want to have kids. How many kids does Morgan want? And her mom was like, oh, you got to ask her that.
Yeah, because at one point she didn't want them. Now she's kind of open to her friend was like,
right, and her friend said that too.
Yeah,
she was team no kids, but she was also like, if I'm with somebody and they want to have kids, you know, I might change my mind or whatever. So they talk about what's the wedding night expectations. I think Morgan's friends talked to Ben about that, and you know, so he's like, I'm open to whatever. If she's down with it, if she's not, that's fine too. It's no rush. Ben just want to smile and be happy and show all his teeth.
He did say this though. He said, "It's my birthday. The next day at midnight, it would be nice to have a nice birthday present." He was willing to get
a birthday present.
He willing to get a birthday present.
He got a birthday present.
Oh no, he said he didn't. They didn't.
No.
Oh, he got. Yeah.
He did. He got the little cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. I thought you were talking about sex because he said on after party they did not have sex.
I know they. I could tell they weren't gonna do that.
And the reason he said they did not have sex, he was like, one of the reasons because the condoms, you know, they were extra large. He said they were extra large condoms, and that's not what I want. That's what I have. They're not good for extra large condoms. So I didn't say it. He said on the after party that the extra large condoms were too.
And as my daughter would say, I have secondhand embarrassment that he would say that about himself.
He said that. He said that.
Keep it to yourself.
Out of his mouth. The extra large condoms did not work.
Anyway, so they talked that night. You know, they want to have a good experience, and you know, they talk about. He says that she checks off a lot of his boxes. She's cute, and he's grateful how they got matched, and you know, they're just excited to be in his space. It was a lot of giggling and giggling.
Yeah, talking about how they which way they sleep in the bed, what side do you sleep on? Do you sleep with the air or no air? Ben talked about he sleeps naked. They start talking with the boxer shorts on. They talked about she said she sleeps. She had to cut the heat on the other night to break the chill. He's like, oh, I like it cold. So they were just trying to get to know each other.
And then I think he told her, I don't even turn on my AC.
Yeah, I only turn on it. Again, cheap brother. Cheap guy.
It's gonna come up.
Cheap. It's gonna
come
up.
Get into it just a little bit.
We're starting to get how cheap he is.
So they just talk to each other. Oh, the one thing I want to say is when they went to the honeymoon suite, the wedding night suite. I guess he wanted to like carry her on the threshold. She was like, "Nah, we can save that for when we actually go." And like, I feel like no.
Yeah, we're going to our house.
When we get to our house, you know, we'll do that.
Yeah, you ain't carry me.
He shares how his parents, you know, they're sitting talking. You know, his parents met in a refugee camp. They've been together since 1975, and you know, just kind of going back to what he said in the beginning. I want that kind of love. I'm looking for that. And then they say, you know, well, let's just get ready for bed or whatever. And that's when they talk about the bed thing. And that big bowl of condoms. And she was like, oh, that's funny. You picked the side of the bed with the condoms on it. I mean, I think he just got in bed.
Yeah, and then they talk about packing. He like, I like to see you swim. Next morning when they got up, I want to see the swimsuits. He take the whole big bowl of condoms and dump it in his bed. Now, mind you, it goes back to the point. If you know you ain't XL, why you dumping the XL in your suitcase?
He probably saw it after the fact. He saw it after the fact. But yeah, so the next morning, she has a little surprise for him. The little cookies and cream. Look like cheesecake, like cupcake type of things for his 30th birthday. And we know earlier he said that was his goal. He wanted to be married before he was 30. And his birthday is not till after they got married. So he accomplished that. How'd they sleep overnight? They had to get used to each other. She did kick him in his sleep.
Yes.
She was like, no, I didn't. He was like, I was scared. You in that Muay Thai, the way you kicked me, I didn't want to wake up with no broken bones or whatever. But yeah, so.
I know about people kicking you in sleep.
They get their honeymoon basket. They find out they're going to Puerto Vallarta. I don't know what that shade was supposed to be, but you missed me with it.
You kicked me.
You missed me with it.
You kicked me a couple times.
You missed me with it. And she's been to Puerto Vallarta. He hasn't before. She was like, I'm really excited to go there. And so they finally make it to with all the couples. And I think that's what will stop with them because the rest of it is an interaction between them and all the couples.
Yeah, I mean, one thing he tells the couples that he had COVID.
Yes.
They had to schedule the wedding a little bit later, and everybody
Yes.
was happy to see him. Miguel talks about, I hadn't seen you since the bachelor party. What's up, brother? Like they got a bromance. Johnny and Jose part 2. Literally, Johnny and Jose part 2.
The Asian Latino connection.
The Asian Latino connection. It's gonna be a bromance.
All right, so from there, are we doing Stacia and,
let's do Stacia and Nate. Let's go Stacia and Nate.
Because to me, I think the last couple was more of a mess than them.
Yeah, Stacia
It was
and
more
Nate.
of a mess. Okay, so we find out, which to me, no surprise. What kind of? Because it was going that way. They did not have sex after they shared the shower.
Allegedly.
But Stacia said, his actions in the shower got me a little intrigued about what's going to go on. That freak in the sheets.
Because he's a freak in the sheets. They told her that he's a freak in the sheets. He wanted to plan that the whole time. Like, this shower might be big enough for the two of us.
And the thing is, she said she wanted to. She said, but I didn't.
I didn't.
After I wanted to.
And I don't see how she did.
Got all worked up.
That's a lot of self-control.
Because women have it, men don't.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to getting worked up. We'll find that out with the other couple.
Yeah.
When you get yourself all worked up, she knew how to suppress it. She pushed it down.
She shut it down.
The question is, I'm surprised that Nate was able to.
She hooked my bra up.
Oh, I don't know.
She hooked bra up.
For their excursion, they go four-wheeling. And she was like, I'm interested to see when you go on this excursion, because neither one of them have been, not just four-wheeling. They go riding on the ATVs. And she was like, I'm interested to see how he's going to be, because both of us have never done this before. Is he going to be like, wife, let me help you, let me get you comfortable, whatever. He didn't. She talking to him. He got his phone up taking pictures and video.
Why did she even expect that, though? Because, I mean, from him.
Well, she did expect it. She said, I want to see how he's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, Nate is about Nate. Nate loves him some Nate. Nate's about the Instagram. He's about the social media. He's about the likes. I'm surprised Nate might even be on this show for the likes, for the Instagram, for the Facebook, for the YouTube, so he can get his name and likes. This man, Nate might be the reason. Look, this is the reason. I ain't gonna say this is the reason on it, but it adds to who Nate will be. Nate will be the guy after Married at First Sight who flips this into a YouTube channel, who flips this into Instagram likes, who flips this into whatever case he needs to get into.
Yeah, since it took her a while to get her goggles and her helmet and her face cover on and everything, you know, he's like, let's go. He ready to go and take off, and he wants to go fast. She's in front of him. It's like, what if they had that conversation, what if you leave me? What if I leave you? And at one point, since she's in front, she's looking for him, and he's not back there, because he's back there making a video, and he's talking, hey, y'all, we in the jungle, and we doing, you know, and she's like, he is nowhere to be found. And when he does catch up, she's like, oh, here's my IG husband. Mm-hmm. Here's my Instagram husband.
I mean, that's what he wants to do, yo. He's about the likes and the clicks. What do you call it, the bits? I never heard that.
I don't know, but she said this is the thing. He was like, you know, this is a unique experience. You know, I want to record it from memory. And she was like, well, we got to get a balance. You got to record and take note of the memory, but also be in the moment. So you have to find a balance between enjoying the activity and recording yourself doing the activity.
I liked how she communicated with him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like she didn't go rah. You know what I'm saying? You can tell she was she was upset. She was kind of disappointed, but she didn't go raw on him. So she had conversation with him to address the issue. Like, this is what I don't like. This is what, can we fix this? Can we work on a balance? She gave solution to it and not necessarily just jump down his throat. Yeah,
because she's like, I feel like I was doing this by myself. We wasn't doing it together. Oh. So, you know, we need to do that. He was like, and as should be expected, we only a couple days in. He said, I'm still transitioning into the inclusion of somebody else in my life, especially my stranger spouse. I don't need, you know.
I totally agree with him on that, because when we even though we knew each other, when we got married, it was an individual thing where, like I said, like I shared before, I want to go fix one sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to ask for two, or I may wanted to go play some video games when I did play video games at the time. You know, what do you want to do?
We would come full circle.
Because I have a 60-year-old son now who likes playing video games. So it becomes quality time.
Well, and then the flip side is like I go to the kitchen and I get my food and I don't bring him nothing.
And I know,
It's because you wouldn't normally be in the office with me at work, so I wouldn't bring you no food. So there you go.
But we work at home together now. Not now, but
we don't work for the same company.
We don't work for the same company, though.
So we're just in the same building.
We're in the same building.
But anyway, we see them getting ready for dinner. He jokes, how long does it take you to get ready? She was like, a couple of hours. He was like, it took me 30 minutes, and she's still getting ready. She was like, because if I was just hopping up, go to the grocery store, it would take me 30 minutes. But we going to sit and have dinner, so get myself together. But they go and have a late dinner. She talks about how she talked to her mom, who asked her how it was going and everything. And her mom says, I think y'all are perfect for each other. And then she mentioned to me that you had a bankruptcy. And she mentioned that, probably want to do a post-nup and tell me about this bankruptcy. And so he said the same thing, I had a business and it failed. We had to file for bankruptcy. She was like, but how's your credit now? He was like, because it tanked my credit, but it's straight now. I'm good to go. And I moved to San Diego for a new start because that was a mess.
Which shows him he didn't do the business right because he should have put in an LLC. He would have taken his business credit and not his personal credit. So him and his partner should have had an LLC. It wouldn't affect you personally, but business wise. And again, credit's overrated.
Yeah,
it is overrated.
Yeah, she said it's not a red flag for her; it's a yellow flag for her when it comes to finances. Because again, we know she's a boss lady. She worked hard to get into the state where she is financially and make sure she's secure. And so she was like, "So, how do you feel about a post-nup? I feel like that would be beneficial because I want to protect my assets." And, I'm trying to be as open as possible, but, I want to...
secure myself, protect myself.
Make sure I'm good, keep some protection. And, if she didn't... She said, if I don't get a post-nup, that'd be a deal breaker to me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm fine with it. If it makes you feel comfortable, I'm good with it. Yeah. So I thought that was good that they had that conversation, and he wasn't resistant to doing the post-nup. He understood where she was coming from.
Yeah, think about it. Most days, if this is yours, you come in, but if we work on this together and we build it right, what we build together, I'm entitled to. Mm-hmm. And so you can have what you have coming in. That's your stuff. I'm glad he went that way. So that's cool with me.
Mm-hmm. So they did talk about kids, and he says, I know because you're a little bit older than me. You probably want kids sooner, but she still blew his mind when she was like, I figure in about a year. He was like, a year? Whew. I want him soon, but not that soon. Mm-hmm. He was thinking 2 to 3 years. But, she was like, family's a priority for me. I want to have kids. So they're going to have to, if they last that long, they're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah, they have to figure that out.
And go from there.
But I enjoyed the fact they had some deep conversations. Mm-hmm. The kids with the situation, I enjoyed all that conversation that they had because it was good for them. And they was open, and he didn't take it the wrong way, and she didn't take it the wrong way. But I'm glad she was able to communicate exactly what she wanted and the way that she did it, so he could understand it, and he was agreeable to it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one right here, Mitch and Kristen. This was a little disheartening. Their interaction was a little disheartening. It was cringeworthy. I'm gonna say that it was cringe. It was cringeworthy.
Yeah. Their activity, they went paddleboarding, and he was like, "Oh, this is my element." He goes paddleboarding all the time, and she called it her element too. But I think it's more the beach thing than the paddleboarding.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Good thing I get to see her in the bikini for the first time." Mm-hmm. Which was funny that he said that because of how the conversation went from there.
Right.
But they had a good time on the paddle boards, and she was like, they both said it was fun to goof around with each other, and so far he's an easy travel buddy. And she was like, let me sit and talk to you, because on this questionnaire that we did, he was like, oh yeah, with the 500 some questions, she was like, it took me days to fill it out because she wanted to be specific. And she said, I wanted somebody that was passionate, particularly about their career. And, I see that in you. When it comes to you being your environmentalist, I see that. And, I appreciate that. And I just want to be authentic with you and, you know, build a romantic relationship. And I like to get each other's humor. And he was like, yeah, we find some things for like to. And then he goes off a deep end. He's like, to me, people are funny. I mean, sex is even funny. And she was like, how so? And he just falls over laughing. He never really said. I was like, okay, he's weird.
He's weird. I mean,
he was like, human interaction is funny from A to Z. Ha.
Yeah. Why would sex be funny?
I don't know. He never said why. But
never explained. But he seemed like he was losing trains of thoughts when he was talking to her. Mm-hmm. You can see where he's bouncing all around. I think it's nervousness.
Yes.
I want to call it it's nervousness that he doesn't know how to respond to her or react to her when she says certain things. So his nervousness makes him a little bit quirky.
Mm-hmm. But she did say to him,
she's really got herself together.
Yes. She did say to him, we're moving more slowly than I would like, you know. And, you know, I would like to get to the point where, you know, we can share a kiss or, you know, some kind of thing, show some affection. And she was like, you know, can we pinky promise that we're going to get there or whatever? She was like, you know, I guess this is our version of a kiss, this pinky promise.
But I was something. But I'm just going from my mindset and who I am. On this show, when we got on the show, when we were talking at the reception, even that night of, when we were on honeymoon, those would be my kind of questions I have. How do you want to move? Do you want to move slow and nice? Or do you want to move fast or do you want to move slow? Is it okay if I kiss you? Is it okay we can hold hands? This is the type of person I'm a touchy-feely person. I like to touch and feel. So you know what I'm saying? All those things will come into play when we have these initial conversations. So when I get on a honeymoon, I'm not trying to figure out how to maneuver. Like he's trying, she's trying to figure out how he needs to maneuver. You know, I'm just me. Those would be the conversations that we would stay up all night and have. I wouldn't even care about sex the first night or anything like that. Let's have these conversations so we get some of these issues out of the way. Mm-hmm.
Well, then we see Matt, his brother's name is Matt. Mitch calls his brother Matt before they go to dinner. And, he lets the cat out the bag. We got a glimpse of it, but, it's, to the point where I got to do something about it. So he calls his brother Matt. And he was like, I feel like I'm putting so much pressure on myself. I see why we were matched on paper. She's an awesome person. I've been enjoying her company. I've been enjoying getting to know her. But there's no spark. He was like, I don't know what to do. I don't feel no spark.
This is the self-sabotage that he was talking about when he was with Miguel. He's starting to sabotage the relationship.
Why is it no... I really would like to see... What is it that you're attracted to?
I want to know what the spark thing looked like.
But more than that, she's pretty. His brother even says, at least she's cute.
She's intelligent.
She's pretty, she's intelligent, she's smart, she's caring. She's understanding, she's mature.
She likes what you like. She even said, I'm not too environmentally conscious you are, but I can be that way. I will kind of get to you'll go with the groove.
And Mitch ain't all that, I'm going to say it. The nerve of you not to be attracted to this girl. You are, sir. Sir.
But see, he's giving mixed signals, though.
And that's what they go into the conversation.
He's giving mixed because there's some things that he is doing that shows that he is attracted.
But that's why he said, I get to see her in a swimsuit for the first time. If I'm not attracted to her, I don't care if she got a one piece on. I want to see her in a bikini for the first time. Or maybe he's thinking, maybe if I see her in a bikini, I'll start feeling that spark of be attracted.
So what is this spark, right? Is this spark making sure, that your Johnson rise or that you get your belly, because Ryan from Houston talked about this spark as well. And Brett wasn't ugly, you know what I'm saying? So what does this spark feel? I as a man, I understand there was a feeling that I had for you. It wasn't, it was love, it was it was concern. You're married, and this love and concern is good conversation. He says everything else is fine. So what else are you looking for? You want her to jump is it that he wants her to jump his bones? And that starts to spark?
No, he is... I just want to know, what is it that you're not attracted to? And I'm going to jump forward. Because she has that conversation. His brother says, you have to be truthful with her. You're going to have to talk to her. And he was like, I don't want her to feel like I made these vows and I lied. He said, but Matt tells him, you didn't vow to be attracted to her right away.
Right.
So don't feel bad. You didn't vow to that. So don't feel bad that's not where it is. But you're going to have to put your best effort and get to know her and try to build some attraction and let her know where you are. And even though this is the way it is now, just remember, it doesn't have to be a foregone conclusion that we can't get there, and relay that to her. And Matt just really gave him some really good, solid advice.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
it was good that he had somebody sound to talk to. Family member wise.
He gets all teary and stuff because he's putting so much pressure on himself, and and I got to talk to her about this. I'm usually calm, you know, and I can handle the pressure, but I'm not.
To me, that would be a sign. If I'm getting teary eyed and I'm feeling all, that means you care, right? To me, that's the spark, right? To me, that's the spark, because I have the warm feeling. I'm breaking down. I'm emotionally upset. But I don't want to hurt this person's feeling. I care about them. That's the spark to me. Because it's about the looks. Because guess what? Looks fade away, right? And it's important initially, but the conversation, the fun that we can have, the enjoyment is more important than the looks. And it's just my opinion. The looks are,
but so they go to dinner, and you know, she says, I'm trying to be optimistic, you know, I'm hoping for a sign that he's interested in me. And she's saying this, and then he comes to the dinner and basically is like, I'm not attracted to you.
No, I'm not attracted to you.
You know, I don't know what it is.
That conversation was so awkward. I felt like turning the TV. I felt like fast forwarding it. It was awkward. I felt bad for her.
Because she's talking about how she's sexually frustrated, and then he's like, I'm not attracted to you.
Yeah, I felt bad for, like, wrong moment. And she's sitting there like, she didn't run, but you can see on her face she was heartbroken. Because if you look at her neck, she was like she wanted to cry.
But I mean, she did definitely get choked up.
She got choked up like she was ready to cry. She held it in, but she was like, oh my God. And I can imagine the thoughts that was going through her mind at that moment. But she held it in, and she was able to articulate herself very well to Mitch, and like, you know, okay, I understand. I'm gonna go at your pace. I'm gonna go at your schedule. We're gonna move here. And very rarely do we see on the show that the woman is the one who's really want to have the sex, or she wants to have the sex, wants to have sex, and wants to be in real close and intimate real quick. Usually it's the guy, but now we see that it's the woman this time.
Yeah, she said she's fine with building attraction over time. We take it day by day. And she was like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and prod you about what it is that makes you feel like you're not attracted. She said, because I feel like that's just going to hurt my feelings more.
Yeah.
She says, I'm confused. I feel blindsided because, again, you're saying stuff like, I'm looking forward to seeing her in a bikini. You know, holding her hand. You know, you're doing things that tell me you're attracted, but then you're telling me you're not attracted.
Right, get close to me, sleeping close to me in bed, and doing all those things.
Yeah.
Not building the what they call it, the fort. Not building a fort in the middle. All that type of other stuff that you guys are doing.
You know, I don't understand. And later on, when they drinking tequila and stuff, and
alcohol to make you talk.
Yeah,
loose lips.
Get a little bit of courage, and you know, that's when I said earlier, your body's gonna react. He was like, you know, laying a little close to her, a little alcohol in me. I got myself worked up. He's like, I got fired up.
You're fired up. Alcohol.
That's confusing. But then you tell her that you're not attracted to her, but you.
Hours later, when the alcohol flowing, you able to. They're doing it. They're eating chocolate syrup, covered strawberries. They're drinking tequila. He's rubbing on. And like, okay, maybe that's his way of trying to feel if he's attracted to her.
I don't know. She said that, you know, after that tense dinner, it was good to her, you know, that he made a move, but at the same time, it's like, it's confusing because you just told me that you weren't attracted. And she was like, you know, you're a good kisser, but if you hadn't been attracted from the start, and you know, if you had been attracted from the start and made that move, like, it would have went a lot further. But because you told me you're not attracted to me, then that's where it's gonna be.
She put the halt on that bad boy. She stopped that thing. He self-sabotaged himself from getting some goodies. And
he just blamed it on my male hormones. You know, I was I wanted to show her that I cared, and the alcohol made me go. You know,
what they call it, liquid courage.
Yeah.
He got that liquid courage. That liquid courage wins. Liquid courage is undefeated every time. Undefeated liquid courage.
Yeah. She's like, if we go along in this 8-week process, and I don't get no affection, if I don't by D-Day, if I ain't got no sex and I'm not getting shown no love and ain't no attraction, she said again, these commercials, these previews, cutting and splicing, and made it sound like she was saying it about something else. She said, if D-Day comes and I don't have these things, then I'm going to ask for a divorce. And rightfully so, she should.
Yeah, she don't get no emotional. You don't get no emotional love or any attention or attraction or feeling. I'm not necessarily saying the sex. I understand that. If you're not physically attached, if who's that? My man Luke from Philadelphia. You repulse me. You know what I'm saying? If he gives you some of that type stuff, by all means, say no on decision day. All right.
Real quick. So when we see the couples come together, the ladies have a conversation about last name.
That was key. I wanted to come back.
And I think I call her Stacia. Stacia she changed her last name immediately to Barnes, but her thing is because I don't know my biological father. Mm-hmm. My stepfather, I never really felt a part of his family. So I got rid of that name with the quickness because I don't have a connection to it. And she said, I feel so negatively about the last name I had before that. Even if me and Nate don't work out, she was like, be prepared for me to still be Stacia Barnes.
I'm not mad at her.
Because I don't want no connection to that name. You know, she got really emotional, talking about how she lacks the connection with her biological father. And then, Alexis just
missed the moment. Alexis meant well, but it was the wrong time. She didn't say it right.
She was like, I know my father, but she was, I'm sorry, it didn't come out right.
I didn't come out right.
But she was trying to say, I'm not connected to him. She was trying to make the point that sometimes, even though you know your father, it doesn't mean you're going to have that connection. Because I was missing it too. But she was like, I know my daddy. Sorry, girl.
I'm sorry. Sorry, girl. You know what she remind me of? I tell you off the camera. But when they get grown.
But Stacia got real, emotional, and she felt bad. She was like, it's not that. It's just this whole thing, period. Is dredging that up in me, those feelings that I have about my biological father not having anything to do with me, and my stepfather not being the best. And
I like Stacia's moment. Stacia's real mature. She's got her stuff together, as it seems. You know what I'm saying? She got her stuff together, and she does very well with expressing herself.
We see Alexis and Justin both sharing with both groups about him trying to turn her into a softie and saying I love you and all like that. And Justin was a little more candid than Alexis, and the guys in his face, they was like, but to the side, they was like, this dude is a little bit too...
Nate was like, he's clingy. Nate was like, yo, bruh, it's too
much.
Too much. You can't, look, we can't already.
Nate says, I think he's just really impressed by her and really excited to be matched, but it's a little bit too much.
Too much too soon.
Even Mitch was like, yeah.
Yeah, too much too soon. Well, Mitch was going to be like that anyway. You don't even find this girl attractive, so Mitch was going to be like too much too soon.
Then we see Miguel and Lindy sharing with each group, about the sexual tension and, how they're attracted to each other. And again, Miguel's like, I can do with mediocre sex till we get there. Miguel, and then we can get some more sex then.
I told you, Miguel's the type of guy, if he have sex with this young lady, and their whole relationship would change. Mm-hmm. Until she builds the foundation, he'll have sex with her and the relationship will change.
Nate talks about how they showered together and they didn't have sex, but I'm probably going to consummate before the honeymoon is over with. Okay. And he knows she wants it, but he thinks she's holding it back. And she said that I would have, but I ain't doing it.
Yeah. And but she said she didn't want to be meaningless, and that's the term she used. She said, I don't want to be meaningless. I don't want to be doing it just to do it. Unlike Miguel, who's willing to do it just to do it, right? Mm-hmm. She wants it to be important. It's not just for us to fill a moment of space and time, but let it mean something when we do it.
Yeah, and Nate was like, I respect that she wants to move slow, but I could tell she getting excited.
You making her excited.
I could tell.
If you keep chopping down a tree long enough, it's going to fall. If you keep hitting that tree long enough, you keep getting it worked up, bring it back down. Keep getting it worked up, bring it back down. Keep getting it worked up. It'll eventually going to take place.
Yeah. They dig into Morgan and Ben's business. They share that, they got sexual chemistry, He be on my tail 24/7 is what she said. He be on my tail 24/7.
He's 30. He's trying to get some. He's trying to work on them babies already. Mama told him, boy, I need some babies, so you might well work on the honeymoon.
She said it makes her excited for the future. You know, no matter whatever it may be, I'm excited about what can come from this. He said he could see himself falling in love with her. She's good at massages.
Yeah.
His concern, though, is that the bridesmaids told him that she didn't want kids. And he was like, I want kids. Mm-hmm. And that might be an issue because family is first for me. In Mitch's vignette, he says, I think Ben and Morgan are off to a not so rocky start, but they don't even know what kind of start they're off to. And I'm like, bro, you don't know what start you off to neither. Be quiet. Close your mouth. But he says out of all the couples, him and Kristen and Ben and Morgan are the wild cards. It's like, what's going to happen there? He tries to say, like, you know, I can kind of see where the other couples are, but you can't really tell where we're headed. Well, he don't know where they're headed.
He don't know where they're headed because he's the part of the reason they're not heading anywhere. He's not trying to be, I'm sorry, as a guy, if I'm with you, we're just married the first day. Not that I'm trying to get in your pants, but I am at least going to hold your hand. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm at least going to give you a hug. I'm not going to be Justin because he's on a whole different level by himself. Mm-hmm. But they're going to be somewhere in the middle. You're going to be comfortable enough at least to grab your wife's hand. Y'all in a resort. Y'all on a beach. You have sand. You have no responsibilities, no work, no nothing. It is time for you to connect one another. Why not hold her hand in the morning? Why not let her sleep in your arm when y'all laying in bed? Why not rub her back or massage her? Why not try to do like a foot rub? Be like Phil. Be like Glen Miller, right? Oh no, I don't want you to do that. But at least you know. You know, at this point you're swinging at the fences trying to find something that works. So you can understand your spouse in an 8-week process, or you end up like who was a couple from last season? The black couple, Jasmina and
Michael. Uh-huh.
Jasmina and Michael, where you miss 4 weeks and you gotta try to play catch up. You don't want to have to play catch up. It's 8 weeks. So in 8 weeks, I am giving all out. Yep, I take no for answer. Sorry, that don't work. Cool. Let's try something else. Oh, nope, that don't work. Oh, let's try something else. Because I want this thing to work. You know, so that's just me.
But on the flip side, we see Kristen sharing with the girls, like, I just want to enjoy this boat trip. And I'll get into the nitty-gritty with y'all later. For right now, I want to just enjoy this. But it's some things going on underneath, and Stasia's like, I knew it was something. I could tell it was something. But she was like, I'll share it with y'all later.
Nobody wants anybody to say, you know what, you're not attractive. I'm not attracted to you. Mm-hmm. Or you don't want anybody who sends you mixed signals, right? And you don't want anybody to see when they sober tell you one thing, and when they drunk, they tell you no. Nobody want no drunk love. no, drunk love is not good love, because then you gotta ask yourself, was it the alcohol talking, or was it really them? And that's where she's at right now. You know, and then from her perspective too, I had to look at it. I almost made it to the altar. I got stood up. Mm-hmm. I had to go on my honeymoon last time by myself, and my family and friends. We threw a party, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm on my honeymoon with my husband, and he's not even attracted to me.
Sucks to be you. That's where she's at. Sucks to be me.
Yeah, it sucks to be me.
Sucks to be me. But Alexis and Justin said they kind of felt like something was off with them too. So she'll let them in on what's going on, and
hopefully they can get it together before the honeymoon. And then not after the honeymoon. One thing I can say about Mitch seems like he listens to advice because he listens to his brother. Mm-hmm. So maybe he just need to pass the Cal, or I'm about to say Dr. V, but she's not there anymore, or Dr. Pepper, or somebody else to get to him and start giving him advice. And I think Mitch will take the advice because he wants to be married. And I think he wants to have kids.
And maybe I hope he'll get over himself.
And he'll get over himself. But again, I think Mitch he doesn't come off to me as the guy that doesn't take advice.
Right.
You know, that
but he does come off, and his sister-in-law said it.
A prick.
He is stubborn. He is a jerk. Well, he can be stubborn. He can be a jerk. And so...
But I want to know what you're stubborn and a jerk in, because he wants to be married. He wants to be here.
And I'm going to say this again.
Be stubborn and a jerk in certain areas, but when it comes to your marriage or serious things, because the way he takes his job seriously, I think he'll take this marriage that way too. I think he just has to learn what marriage is about.
I need to know what's his type then if he not attracted to her.
The mama.
So is the dark hair an older woman?
Older woman, the mama. The mama. Remember, there's an age gap there too. He like a little bit older women. There's an age gap. I'm sorry, there's an age gap there. I think it's 9-year gap, 8 or 9 year gap.
Mitch, you ain't all that.
He wants an older woman. That's probably why he ain't had nothing in about a year and a half.
He ain't all that.
He said it wasn't by choice.
I know he ain't all that.
He wanted something, he couldn't get nothing. But yeah, that's
that. That we'll see that unfold some more. I hope they can get it together, but I don't know.
We don't know. Hopefully they can get it together. Hope so. Hey, but do us a favor. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you thought about this episode of Married at First Sight. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Also, join our membership, please. We're going to start rolling some content out for members only, all right? We're going to start rolling some content out for members only. So please, please, ma'am, please, sir, hit the subscribe as a member to our channel. Hit the bell notification and hit the bell notification and the subscribe button. And thank you.
Hit him.
Hit him. I got tongue tied.
Anyway.
Click him, hit him, touch him, whatever. Hit the button.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.